Hi, Desperate Housewives super fans. Welcome back to the pod. Deepest apologies again. What?
This is the Deepest Apologies
Yeah,
podcast.
I'm Christy Gomez, as they know. They've been through like 200 episodes. It's fine. Maybe like 80.
I am Summer Moran. If this is your first time joining us, welcome. You're in for a real treat.
A crazy episode to start. Anyway.
I
Um,
really enjoyed this episode. I can't wait to dig into it.
I did too. I giggled a lot, actually. There was a lot of really good one-liners in it.
I'm always worried that we watched different episodes.
Well, you can fix that. You can get a streaming service.
No, I'm watching it on
Or
Disney
like,
Plus now,
oh, good.
thanks to listener Trevor. Yeah.
Oh, I can't believe you're making our listener pay for your stuff. You can like get a
I am
tax
not
write off.
making.
You can like tax write off a streaming service.
I didn't think of that.
Yeah, like now that we do things for business, you just keep receipts and you can get that written off.
I want to draw attention to your t shirt.
Yeah. Well, New Jersey has a huge part in my story of my moment of desperation, so I figured I would dress
Hmm.
in theme. You know this shirt. I bought this with you. You can see the back.
Oh, yeah.
It's my fun one. One thing about me, I'm a girl who loves New Jersey. I think it's a great state. I think it's so fun.
It's the best state, second only to, no, it might be better than California.
I honestly think it is. Like, I think if gun to head, if like Donald Trump came up to me with a gun and was like, "You have to leave California and New York City," I'd be like, "Okay, well, I'm moving to the Jersey Shore year
Right, right.
round." Like,
Blanchie.
I'm opening up a coffee shop in now I'm a Stone Harbor stand, but like I don't know Asbury Park.
Wow, I would
I'll
love
open
that.
up a bar in Belmar.
Oh, Belmar Bar.
Yeah, Bell Bar.
Bell Bar.
No, that's our next venture. I'm literally opening up the Bell Bar.
I can't believe we're opening Bell Bar at the
Yeah.
Jersey Shore.
Yeah, like that's I really think if all is said and done and I have to go, Bell Bar at the Jersey Shore. New Jersey! New Jersey, New
Let's
Jersey! Let's
go.
go! Like, whoa. Whoa. Anyway, before we get to mine, and I remember in the last episode I literally said I need crazy things to start happening to me for the sake of this podcast. So I really cannot wait to get into my troubles. But in the meantime, what's been happening with you? What's your moment of desperation?
So my moment of desperation is actually a rather serious one.
Oh no.
And you heard in real time, but I was shooting a vertical. So I wrapped one, and that was on a Thursday, and then I went to go shoot another one the following Monday. And I walked in there like all jazzed, like coming off this high of my last one, being like, all right, team, let's go. And then I was like, oh, it's just like a little, it's bland. It's not, there's no, I'm not going to say there's no drama because it's a vertical, but
What's
there's
this
no
one
like
called?
the last sparks of us.
I
And
like the
this
ones that
one
are
just
like
didn't
my
have,
crazy CEO billionaire tried to kill me.
yeah, this one didn't have that. It was more of just like a love story, and I
Uh-huh.
was playing the villain,
Mm-hmm.
as I tend to do.
Hmm.
But I was like, oh, it's not kooky enough. It didn't have
Yeah.
that oomph. So I ended up having a lovely time, but my last day was shooting in Anaheim. And then when I drove back from Anaheim, I walk in my door and I find Blanche chewing on a long piece of ribbon.
Oh my
And
God.
I freaked out. And, Kelly was home, but like she was in her room. Blanche was in my room with this thing in her mouth. And it was almost like, when I don't know if it's like clowns that like they pull handkerchiefs out of their mouth and it just
Yeah.
keeps coming. That's exactly what it was like. So I'm like ripping this thing out of her mouth, and she's still chewing a piece. Like I can still hear foil crunching between her teeth.
Mm-hmm.
And I scooped her up, and I'm like trying to dig my hand in there. And Kelly's like, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" And so she comes, and Kelly's never dealt with this before.
Mm-hmm.
I've hardly dealt with this with Blanche, but I had Kelly hold her, and Kelly does not know how to hold a cat.
Neither
I
do
think she,
you.
I know that, but like, imagine me, but worse.
Oh no. Poor
Yeah, and I
Blanche.
don't fault her at all for that, and I'm sure she would
Yeah.
agree. So like, I have her holding Blanche. I said, like a baby, and I'm prying open her little mouth, her little lips, and there's nothing to be found. Like she's already swallowed it. Now, this piece of ribbon was left over from our housewarming party a month ago. So I guess she just found a piece and got away with it. But I obviously am having a meltdown. So luckily, there is a 24-hour emergency vet, very close to my apartment. So I loaded up Blanche and we headed over there. We were there in 5 minutes. And that's a really difficult place to be at any hour, but especially at
Yeah.
10 p.m. So Blanche and I are sitting there, and in my mind, I'm like, okay, I just need her to get taken in before like she digests this thing, right? Like
Right.
I'm sure they're going to try and induce vomiting or something, and if she can just get it up and out, like I'll be grateful. And at this point, you're not thinking about the money, or like just do whatever you need to do.
Yeah.
And so we're waiting there for like 20, 30 minutes, and I'm like, oh my God, come on. And the lady behind the counter was like, oh, we're just like really backed up tonight. I heard her on the phone with some other people who were calling in, and she's like, well, we'll try to get them, but it's just a really crazy busy night here. It did not seem crazy busy at all. There were
Mm-hmm.
like maybe three or four other people in the waiting room. And then I heard one lady say, I've been here since 2 o'clock, and it was 10 p.m. So then I start getting nervous as to like, am I going to be here till 5 in the morning?
Mm-hmm.
So Blanche gets taken in. There is literally nothing for me to do except sit in the waiting room and like play my little bingo game on my phone. And when you're just like so over exhausted emotionally that you're just out of it, you're like a zombie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just like that, waiting and waiting. So about 2.5 hours later, they said, "Okay, come on in, and the doctor's going to talk to you." And then I'm sitting in the actual doctor's office, and I'm like, "Okay, where is she? Like, why aren't they bringing her to me?" And then my mind starts to go to the worst places.
For
Then I
sure.
start really panicking. But then the doctor came in and she chatted with me and she was like, okay, like we tried to get her to throw it up, but she really didn't want to. So you're going to come back tomorrow and we're going to do an ultrasound. And we'll see if it's like bunching her intestines or anything. Like we'll see if it's doing that or if it's going to just make its way out. I was not taking any chances, so I was like, yes, whatever. Like I'll be back in the morning. So they said to come back between 7 and 8 a.m., but that none of the doctors would be there till 9. So what did I do? I said, whatever time I wake up is when I will be going there. So about 8, 8:30, we get over. Blanche goes in for her ultrasound, and then I picked her up a few hours later, and they said it didn't look like it was bunching or anything. Thankfully, it was such a huge relief. And really, all I had to do was monitor her very, very closely, make sure she was still eating normally and not throwing up, what have you.
Mm-hmm.
And so I brought her home, and $1,200 later, she is doing very well. Uh, she did eventually pass the ribbon, and you should have seen the look on my face, Christy and listeners, when I went into her litter box because she like wasn't doing anything
Yeah.
for like 2 days. And then on the second day, like in the evening, like right before I went to bed, I saw this, long piece. I hate toilet
Ew.
humor
Yeah. This is a
as do
toilet.
you, but
This
I
is
was
not
like,
a toilet humor
that's
podcast.
it. It's not like,
Yeah.
and so of course, I had to take like an old like clip, and I was just going through and dissecting it effectively, and I was like, oh my God, thank God
Why were you
it's out of
dissecting
her.
it? Ugh.
Because I had to see, because I couldn't see it just on the surface.
Right.
So I had to like
Ugh.
go in and make sure that it was that.
Ugh.
But it was.
That's good.
And yeah, and now all is right with the world. That said, listeners, I do have a GoFundMe. If you're in a position to help me cover Blanche's medical costs, it would be so, so appreciated. I am so close to the goal. It's just if I could get over this little hump, everything would be right with the world.
Yeah. No, that's scary. You're lucky you saw her, but also if you didn't, you wouldn't have known, and then it would have been fine. But I
Uh,
think you're good to, you should have, it's good you took her.
Yeah, I don't think she would have been able to swallow the whole thing
Yeah.
because it was a long piece of ribbon. And what she got down was also significant, but like
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was that much when I took her.
I've caught tofu like in the middle of the night. I'll just hear, and I've gotten like huge pieces of plastic out of his mouth.
Oh my
I'm like, I don't
God.
know where he finds it. Yeah, I'm talking about you. He just looked at me and rolled over. Um,
I don't know why they love plastic so
I
much.
I once found one of Amalia's earrings in his litter box. Passed.
Oh, yes, you mentioned.
Yeah, and I was a bit confused because I didn't see him eat that, and thank God it didn't like rip his stomach.
I'd love to hear about your moment or moments of desperation.
Well, listeners, we took a little break by accident just because I was very drained. I actually couldn't record this podcast before I left, and then I was in New Jersey for the 4th of July. Um, Love traveling from California to go on vacation in Jersey. My dad was like, "Why are you driving 3,000 miles to go to the beach? Flying 3,000 miles to go to the beach?" And I was like, "You don't get it. It's the Jersey Shore, the best place in the world."
Yep.
Um, so I left on my Burbank red eye flight, as I do. I don't think anything significant happened on that flight. Um, oh, so all of this is all travel related. I had harrowing
Sure.
journeys one at a time. So I land in JFK. I think my flight was actually delayed. So it was like 7, 8 a.m. I land. And I'm checking Uber. I don't know if you've left like the JetBlue. That's really gonna come into play in this story. The
Oh no.
JetBlue terminal these days, but you have to take like an air train to the Uber place. And
Yeah.
then I'm like, okay, Uber Black curbside pickup is only $10 more. So I said, I'm just gonna do that. But the Uber Black curbside is certainly not curbside. I still had to go on a very long journey, go up and down through the parking garage to find curbside. And the guy had been sitting there for 30 minutes. He's like, it's literally like in the back of a parking lot. Like, that's not worth the money. So I'm like, okay, it's only $10 more. Fine. I get there. What? The price shoots up to $50 more. And I'm like,
What?
$50. But I was like, you know what? I can't go any further. I'm taking this car. I have to go home at this point. So I go home, whatever.
Yeah.
Next day, I fall asleep 7 p.m. Next day, I am bright-eyed and bushy-tailed to go to Port Authority. Listeners, if you're not from New York City and you've never been to Port Authority, count your lucky stars because Port Authority doesn't make any sense. Okay, like there's no signage.
Right.
There's 2 buildings. Nobody will give you directions. Like there's no chair. Like you have to figure it out. My bus allegedly was at 2:45. This is a route on the NJ Transit app, by the way, that we couldn't find it. It just kind of spawned one day to Stone Harbor, New Jersey, which is not easy to get to from the city because it's closer to Philly, like it's far. But so I get to, I was like, I'm smart. I'm going to allot a lot of time at Port Authority because I do not know what I'm doing. I get there at 1 o'clock. My train 2:45. In the hour and 45 minutes before I got on that bus, I did not have one moment of peace because the entire time I'm running around with a bunch of bags trying to figure out where I'm going. Like I had no idea. So I'm like searching on all like the things. None of them say this route exists. Nope. Okay, listeners, apologies. We were having delay issues, and Summer's delayed responses was making my story unfunny. Um, so yeah, so I'm at Port Authority. I can't find I'm looking at the directory. Like, this route's not showing up anywhere. So I'm like, okay, Atlantic City, Greyhound, maybe that's it. I fully have a New Jersey Transit bus ticket, but still. So I go down to Greyhound and I go to like the informational guy and I'm like, hey, like, do you know where this bus is supposed to be? And he looks at me, he goes, Jersey? Yeah. Just go right across from here. There's a huge sign that says Jersey and you'll find it. And I go, great, thank you so much. I go walk over there, white wall. I think he fully was messing with me. Fully.
No.
So I was like, okay, I'm literally getting bullied. Like, he can smell the Los Angeles on me now, I guess. So finally, like, then Jasmine joins. We find the bus. And we're in this line for the bus. We're about to get on. And I go, does this go to Atlantic City? And she goes, yes. And I go, does this go to Stone Harbor? And the girl goes, no, wrong bus. That's the next one. So Jasmine pulls her suitcase out, fine. We're like, okay, the next bus that's supposed to be at 2:45 shows up at 2:58. So I guess there was a secret third option. And we find some other girls who are also going to Avalon, Stone Harbor. And we ask her again, we're like, hey, is this bus going to Stone Harbor? And she goes, even there's a sign that says Stone Harbor's on the route. And she goes, yeah, I'll let him know. I'll let him know that's where you're going. He'll stop anywhere you want to go.
Oh,
So
no.
we're like, okay. So we get on the bus, and then dilly-dallying, whatever, we have one rest stop. He says, if you're not back by 5:46, I'm leaving without you. So I'm like racing through, trying to get a water, whatever. We make it back. And then we get to Atlantic City. And we're stopping there, whatever. And then the bus driver goes, who's going to Ocean City? Which I think was the last stop. And everybody who's still on the bus, we raise our hands. He goes, get off the bus. I'm not going any further. And we're like,
What?
yeah. He goes, I don't want to go any further than this. You're going to have to take the next bus. So we're like, oh, this is supposed to be a direct bus. So then there were too many of us. So people transfer over. There were no more seats for me, Jasmine, and a few other people. The bus everybody got on, by the way, was the first bus in New York City I almost got on.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, that was the bus. So it leaves without us. The next one's not for an hour. We're like, I'm not staying at this Port Authority or this Atlantic City bus terminal. It's foul. However, I must go on a trip to Atlantic City. It looks like Las Vegas, but less sinister. Must go. This was not the time. I just wanted to be in this beach home. So these two other girls we meet, one of them goes, okay, I'm going to my parents' house in Avalon. We're all going the same way. Do you guys want to split an Uber? It'll be like $30 each. So I was like, yeah. So the four of us, girlhood, love it. We split an Uber to Stone Harbor. One of the girls was super fun. She gave us this, a link to this like luxury bus that we didn't see anywhere, which would have loved to know about because that was like a nice, comfortable coach bus on the way back. Again, I looked up every option to get to Stone Harbor from New York City. This was simply not one of them, but whatever. So then I have a lovely time, love New Jersey. Then it's time to go back. And I ended up cutting my trip. I cut everything like a day shorter because Tofu was having some issues and I have to go back east like in 3 weeks. So I was like, I can have one less day here.
What?
Like, it's fine. Yeah, I have to go to a wedding and Jonas Brothers MetLife Stadium in a couple weeks. I'm literally back and forth every month for the rest of the year.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's
I have
awful.
a lot going on. It's the tales of being me, I guess. But I had a lovely time in Stone Harbor. Shout out to my friend Brian for hosting us and his amazing family. But then it's time to leave New York City. And I originally, then I was going to fly back to Burbank. And in the morning, this was Wednesday, no, Tuesday. I got a facial in the morning. My face was breaking out so bad. I think the humidity. So I got so many extractions. I was ready to like look horrible and ragged on this flight. So I'm walking back from my facial, happy as a little scarred, ugly clam. And then I get a text on my phone. Hey, your JetBlue flight to Burbank was canceled. And I go, oh, no, why is that? It's a perfectly sunny day. No reason for that to be canceled. Are you delayed again? Or are you just frozen? No. Okay. So I'm like, well, that's funny. So I end up getting JetBlue to LAX. I said, I cannot stay here. I have to go. So I end up booking a later flight at 7 p.m. Get to the airport. My driver's a yapper. He's telling me about his entire Dominican family and all of his 13 brothers and sisters the entire ride. I should have known at that point it was going to be a difficult evening for me. So we board the flight. This was also the first day that shoes can stay on through TSA, so this may be an omen. So we board the flight. Everything's fine. Then they tell us, like, oh, yeah, like, there's some delays right now because of thunderstorms, so taxiing is going to be, like, an hour. I'm like, an hour taxiing? Oh, my God. Like, that's going to be annoying, but whatever. Done it before. Then I think I see somebody on my flight. I was like, I think I know this person just from, like, living life, but I wasn't really sure, and I'm still unsure. I just looked so horrible with my, like, skin flare-ups that I was like, I literally cannot be seen or heard today. Like, nobody look at me, nobody talk to me, so who knows. So I get on this flight, we're taxiing. They say, oh yeah, like, we're almost up in the air, guys. There's 20 planes ahead of us. Sorry, listeners, delayed again. Okay, so on the plane, we're taxiing, and they're like, okay, we're almost up, like 20 minutes we'll be in the air, like, finally, whatever. Then they go, the pilot also sounds like this. Oh, so sorry, everybody. It looks like, we've been taxiing for 3 hours, and, legally we have to go back to the gate. So we go back to the gate. And I'm like, there's just simply no way. So we're at the gate. They're like, yeah, get off the plane if you want. Stay on the plane. Like, I don't know what's going on. I'm like, so now you can just walk free? Like, is this a free for all because we've already boarded? So some people get off. Some people stay on. I choose to stay on because I'm hopeful we're going to take off soon. I'm walking up to the little snack cabinet. And as I'm opening it, this guy in mint goes, oh, yeah, good idea. He'll come back on the story later. I was like, yeah. And as I'm opening it, the flight attendant goes, okay, ladies and gentlemen, hey, stop! And I go, caught red-handed. He goes, those snacks are for when we're in flight. Everybody, you've all been here for 3 hours. Well, guess what? So have I. I don't know what's going on. The pilot doesn't know what's going on. We're waiting for the gate agent to talk to us. If you eat all the snacks now, there's going to be nothing when we're up in the air. So fine, eat them. I don't care. But just know there's going to be nothing for you when we're en route. And I'm going, this is the most bizarre night of my life. I'm trying to do like a comedy routine. I walk back. I'm like, can you guys believe her? Nobody laughed. Everybody's annoyed. I'm really finding the humor in this in real time. I'm honestly at this point having the best night of my life. So then finally I get off this plane. They say flight canceled. I'm like, great, whatever. I call my mom. I'm like, I think I have to come home. I'm going to try again tomorrow. But leaving JFK is a harrowing experience. So then I see I was automatically booked onto the next LAX flight. And I said, I'm getting on this. So I run to the gate and I say, was I on this flight for real? Or is this a mistake? And the guy goes, nope, it's real. Tap, 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 tap. Gives me an even more space seat window. I said, thank God. My night's looking up. So I run over because then they changed and then we're doing musical chairs because right when I do that, they change the gate. So I run over to the next gate. The mint passenger comes back. He always has a laptop open in his hand. I don't know if he has a phone. He has his laptop open and he goes, "Hey, do you know what I'm supposed to do about my bag?" Oh, also, when I was getting off the plane, he saw me. I grabbed a snack just for the sake of it. I was like, I'm getting a chewy granola bar. He goes, "Hey!" And I turned around, I said, "Ah!" And he goes, "Ha ha ha, no, got you. Just get whatever you want." I was like, thanks. So he comes back, he's asking me questions as if like I'm personally flying this plane. He's like, "What am I supposed to do about my bag? Do you know how I'm supposed to get a ticket?" I jump back into like Disney employee mode, cast member mode. And I'm like, "Yeah, I think you have to go down to carousel one." Like I was running the airport. This other girl starts asking me questions about how she's supposed to go to customer service to get a new flight. I was doing a Q&A at JFK. Like they were not going to any of the flight attendants. They were just coming up to me. I was like, "Yeah, that checks." So I'm sitting there, I'm talking to my mom, like telling her all about getting yelled at. We're laughing. So finally, the flight from LA, it was just turning right back around. Everybody's finally being let off. Who do I see walking off that plane?
Ooh, can I guess?
Please guess.
Joe Jonas.
I wish. Do you want another guess? You're not going to get it.
Oh, then you just tell me.
My neighbor Alex.
No way.
At this point, I am cracking up. I'm like, this is unbelievable. I go, "Hey, Alex." And he's like, "Oh, hi." So we're just chatting. He goes, "I'm moving to New York tonight. I'm going to pick up my sublet. You're my New York City welcome." And I was like, that checks. I think that fully checks because my entire brand in this apartment is being from New York City. So I was like, okay, so happy for him. He will be in Brooklyn now.
Wow.
It was just like, again, this was just a trial of like Shakespearean comedy of errors. So for my neighbor to just show up out of the blue and spawn like that was really something else. I was like, this cannot be real. And I was like, wow, the podcast gods. All I could think about the whole time was this podcast.
Yeah.
I was like, thank God. I was like, oh my God, how am I gonna like tell this story? I can't wait to be interesting. So finally I get on this plane. Then who pops their little heads up? The Scavo twins, basically, going, "Hi, hi, 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 what's your name? Hi." And I'm like, oh my God. And the one girl goes, "I have to get home to see my cat, Zeus." I'm like, okay. But then they ended up being fine the rest of the flight, and I slept the whole way. And then I landed at 3:30 in the morning. I got right into an Uber Black. I said, I am not taking the flyaway bus. I am not getting on a shuttle to go to the Uber. I don't care how much this Uber costs. I'm going home. And I tucked myself into bed at 5 in the morning. I was supposed to land at 8:30 p.m.
That's insane.
I think it was the craziest night of my life. At one point, too, I was like walking off to get food. I realized I didn't have my suitcase. I just left it behind, so I had to run back. Like, it was really like, it was a comedy of errors all evening. I couldn't believe it. And thank God, because I did not trust that pilot. He couldn't even get us to the gate properly. He also was like, "Oh, I didn't park it right." I didn't. I hope he's well. I wish the flight attendant well, but it was really bizarre.
I mean, it does sound like an episode.
Yeah, it was like, it was a little too much. Like, I'm starting to believe in the simulation. Because, like, what do you mean? This wasn't, what do you mean?
Why did Alex move to New York?
Because he and his girlfriend broke up, spilling all his tea, so he just, like, wants something different. So he's just going to be subletting in New York for a few months, and he's coming back. He was staying at Alec at his apartment for a little while.
Oh.
Yeah. Now he's a New Yorker. And I just saw him, too. He came to hang out at the pool.
Well, I thoroughly enjoyed that whole tale.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And listeners, just so you know, I do it all for you. Like, I'm living life for this podcast at this point.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, speaking of the podcast, should we get into the episode?
Yes, please. I would love to get into the episode.
Let's get into the episode. This
Reddit
episode
hate.
is called, I know. This episode is called Art Isn't Easy.
So we start off with Bob and Lee. And you know what? I will say about this episode was so homophobic in a way only a gay man could write it.
I get that.
Where it was just like so on the nose gay men humor. Like how they kind of like riff and make fun of themselves a little bit.
Yeah.
I was like, this is like phenomenal television. Great work. So Bob and Lee get a very gay and ugly sculpture in their front yard. And all the residents are not happy. They said, we need to get this slur out of here.
And there's a moment when they're all staring at the ugly sculpture, and Catherine addresses Mary Alice's death, but she seemingly does not care.
She
Did
does
you
not care at
catch
all.
that?
I did. I wrote that down because we talked about this. We were like,
Yeah.
why did Catherine not ask that one of her best friends is no longer with them? She was
Right.
just like, why is there no homeowners association anymore? And I think it was Lynette who was like, well, it was Mary. No, Lynette wasn't there. Maybe it was Susan. I don't know.
Yeah,
Bree.
Lynette was the only one who wasn't there.
Yeah. But she was just like, um, oh yeah, like it was Mary Alice, but you heard what happened 4 years ago. And Catherine just goes, oh yeah. Anyway, we gotta get rid of this sculpture. I was like, oh my god, heartless. Like, do you not care at all?
She really doesn't. Um, I wrote Mrs. McCluskey OMG, but I don't remember why I
I
said
wrote
that.
down the exact quote because this is exactly what I mean was this was homophobic in the best way possible that could only have been written by a gay man because McCluskey was like, Bree, you go talk to Bob and Lee. And Bree goes, "Ugh, why me?" And she goes,
Oh, yeah.
because you have a son who came flying out of the closet and a husband looking for the doorknob. And I was just absolutely losing my mind. I also did, side note, I told our friend of the pod, Anthony Lewis Lee, I was like, you give Andrew Van de Kamp.
He
And he goes,
absolutely does.
thank you. And he was like, I would watch that as a kid and go, I'm gay. That's me. That's me. No.
He really does give AVDK.
It's really a reflection, especially when he gets like less sinister. Like he really is, and they kind of do look
Yeah.
alike too.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And then Catherine, I wrote, she's being a little blunt about everything. Like she has no decorum, no sense of diplomacy when speaking with people.
Yeah, and then they are like, "Hey, gays, like this is an eyesore. It cannot be in this conservative neighborhood." But I really respect that they stand their ground. They're like, "Art's subjective. We don't care." Susan's being a people pleaser. And she goes, "Oh yeah, like I studied art. Like it really just like depends on who you are. Like yeah."
And
She wants.
Catherine is like, okay, Susan's need for validation aside. I also noticed, just a total side note, that Marcia Cross was like towering over everybody in this scene.
She
Are
did
they
cross.
all really short? Because she's not that tall.
I don't know. Maybe she just had heels on, or like it's just her presence being fake pregnant that makes her look taller. She really did tower.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's bizarre.
Yeah. And then in the next scene, it's the next morning, and the sculpture we learn is actually a super loud fountain. And this is where Bob and Lee lost me. Because at first I was like, okay, whatever, it's your yard, do whatever you want. But making a super loud fountain next to your neighbor's house is actually super inconsiderate, and I'm not on their side.
Yeah, so they wake up Susan and Mike, and obviously, like, Mike has been working late nights, and so Susan goes over there and she asks them to turn it off, maybe move it to the backyard. And that's the thing. You know, I actually didn't realize this episode came so quickly into
Yeah.
the season, but I'm so glad it did because it's so funny.
No, this was a good one. I was in stitches a little bit.
Yeah.
And they really, again, they stand their ground, and she's like, but I don't want to hear this in front of my bedroom. And he's like, you want to hear all the crazy things I hear from your house? You're on your phone with your mom, singing in the shower. I was like, Susan, how loud do you have to be for your neighbors to hear? Like, are your windows wide open?
I think so. And also, like, I think Bob tries really hard to compromise and, like, be a good neighbor, but Lee is, like, not having it.
Lee is so deeply unhappy to be living on Wisteria Lane.
Yeah,
And like,
yeah, I kind of get it.
I don't. I would love to live in Wisteria Lane.
No, you and I would, but, like, Lee
Yeah,
didn't want to move in the first place. So if you're not already open to moving somewhere, like, it's going to be that much harder to adjust.
that's true. That's why marriage is a scam. If I was married and all of a sudden I had to pick up and move from the place I love to a place I didn't want to go, I'd be like, sign the divorce papers on your way out. I ain't staying here.
I ain't staying here.
I ain't
Sorry, I
staying
loves
here.
ya, but I
But I
ain't
ain't
staying
staying here.
here.
Really bad accents. Um,
Then
I
Lynette is
went
out.
Brooklyn.
Sorry, what?
I went Brooklyn.
Okay.
Continue.
Then Lynette is outside with the kids in their little treehouse. She gets a call from her doctor, and it's like actually pretty decent news. But when she hangs up and turns around, all of the kids are like glaring daggers at her. And she's like, hey, what? And they're like, no talk of sickness, no talk of doctors, or you have to leave.
My thing is, I've never seen a treehouse in the Scabo household, number one. Number two, did you clock her alien voice? They did.
Sure did.
When they were like, Mom has an amazing alien voice. She goes, "Hi, Parker." "Hi, Parker and Preston." I was like,
Yeah.
they could have. You didn't have to put that in the episode. Hi, Parker and Preston.
Yeah, it didn't.
It wasn't good.
There was no need. Yeah.
It was giving you sly dog.
You sly
Like,
dog.
you sly dog.
I hated that.
You sly dog. I'm alien sly dog.
No more, please. And then Bree,
I come from planet Krypton, sly dog. Oh my god, Crypto is a sly dog.
I loved Superman.
Superman is a great film. You guys have to go see it.
It was phenomenal. I enjoyed every minute of it.
Same.
I'm gonna go back.
Oh, me too.
You wanna go this week?
Whoa! Perhaps, yeah. I would watch it again.
I'll go anywhere. But I really liked that theater too.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Anyway, then in the next scene, Bree and Orson are like gonna go pick up Danielle, right? Is that what they were doing?
I do.
I think they were gonna go get her, but Bree calls the convent and they say that Danielle is gone. And naturally, Bree has a Zack attack. She totally flips out and she's like, "What do you mean, Reverend Mother? You stupid fucking idiot moron, stupid ass." Like she was ripping her a new one.
Reverend Mother was also an insane thing to hear in 2025. Because
Yeah.
all I heard in my mind was like, hey, Reverend Mother, slay queen. Like, slay mama mother.
House down
Okay,
boots.
Reverend. And then we cut to Danielle and Phyllis playing video games.
That was really funny
Yeah, I loved that.
and kind of wholesome.
Yeah. I just think, like, she's fine. Leave her alone. Free
Yeah, but
Danielle.
Bree has like here's the thing. If Danielle would just have baby, give baby to Bree, and then chill with grandma, like everything would be fine.
Yeah, to just do that. And then Edie wants to go on Carlos's golf trip. And he's like, no, Edie. I gotta do things on my own for the sake of this relationship, Edie. If we need a lot of space, Edie.
Yeah. So she gets him the monogrammed golf balls with her initials, not his, which
Love her.
that is iconic behavior. I really respect that.
Then we see him on the phone with Gabby, and we find out that he's not on a golf trip. He's going on a getaway with her. And she clocks that there's a bunch of kids gardening for her, and she,
Yikes. Slippery slope.
whoa. And she's like, uh, hey, Harry, how long has that truck been out here? And he's like, oh, a few hours. And she's like, no, that's like spooky. And he goes, oh, maybe he's waiting for somebody. And she goes, when was the last time the cable guy waited for anybody? So she then calls all the kids in the house and then disguises herself as a young boy and
That was so funny.
rides on the front of a bike to get away from the PI.
He's so
And then
ET coded.
super ET, super Stranger Things. And then in the
Yes.
next scene, randomly, she's dressed to the nines, perfect hair in the hotel with just a backpack. So
Right.
I'm very unclear on what methods of transportation she then took to get there.
Right, like
Did she
why
hitchhike?
did she have like that short wig? Whose outfit was she wearing? Like the orange and white striped shirt.
It could have been John Rowland's.
You know what? That is something he would wear.
That I feel like we've seen him wear something like that.
Speaking of,
If I were the costume designer, I would say let's bring one of the shirts that Jesse Metcalf wore as a young little callback.
yeah,
Not
that's a
young.
fun Easter egg.
Yeah.
And speaking of, John Rowland is at the hotel.
Yeah. And so she happens to pick a hotel owned by Tammy, John Rowland's now pregnant wife, which like she should know that. Gabby loves Dancing with Danger because I'm sure she knew because we've seen him at this hotel previously.
Yeah, but yeah, that's true. I mean, there's no way of knowing that he would have been there and that Tammy would be pregnant.
Yeah.
But it comes out in their conversation where you could just see the love in John Rowland's eyes. Like he has never stopped loving Gabrielle Solis. And it comes out that Victor Lang is friends with Tammy's dad.
And Gabby goes, "Oh yeah, you're a hotel heiress." And Tammy goes, "Not one of the trashy ones." And I didn't like that because that was a play on Paris Hilton, and I'm like, leave her alone. Oh my
It was
God.
a dunk. Yeah.
Yes. I clocked immediately. I was like, no, we don't do this now.
Well, this was also, what, 2007?
Yeah, when the media was really hated Paris Hilton.
Then Bree and Orson show up at Mama Rex's house, and they're there to, I'm going to say rescue Danielle, but, you know, it's not rescuing to her. This scene was a little triggering for me as a child of divorce. So the reason is Danielle starts, like, parroting phrases that Mama Rex has said to her about, like, Bree being emotionally unavailable, yada, yada, yada. And she's really being so cruel to Bree. But, like, this hit me because it brought me back to, like, when my dad would say, like, your mom has brainwashed you. Like, it actually really freaked me out. So I had to just get through it. But Danielle says that she wants to have her baby and raise it at Mama Rex's house, which is in, like, a nursing home facility. Like one of those old people complexes.
Well, this scene was actually quite funny that you probably didn't get if you were working through childhood trauma.
Yeah.
But the way she was parroting things, like she very clearly did not know what she was saying. Like she was like,
Yeah.
you emasculated dad, and now you're going to emasculate me. And Bree is like, you're a moron. Like you don't know what you're saying. Like you don't know what that means. She's like, nah. So it was very funny. I don't think that's something I caught on to when I was a young viewer of this show.
Yeah.
And then the gays go ask Lynette how she feels about the artwork. And they're like, you know what? Well, the homeowners association's not going to approve your treehouse. And then Lee goes, he like goes on some like crazy like anti-Nazi rant and comparing Catherine to like Adolf Hitler, who once again we don't support. But he
This
was
is
like,
a Hitler hate podcast.
yeah, Hitler hate podcast. But he was like, I can't put Hitler in the photo dump. I can't do it. I'm
No,
not gonna
I
do
wouldn't
it.
expect you
I'm
to.
not gonna do it.
You don't have to. You're acting like I just told you to.
I just thought it'd be so
Christy, if
funny.
you don't put Hitler in the photo dump, I swear.
Maybe I will, but like a picture of him like X'd out, like we hate Hitler.
Okay. Just don't put like a swastika.
Well, I'm not gonna do that, but like it'll be a very clearly like anti-Hitler post.
We could just stay away from the Hitler thing altogether.
I just think like it's okay to say we hate Hitler.
We do hate Hitler. I'm just listeners.
Hate Hitler, not
Hate
hail.
Hitler.
Hate.
Hate. Hate him. We hate him.
But he says something. It's very funny. He goes, "What? It was like, I had no treehouse, so they did not come. I had no fountain, so then I did not. Then they came for the treehouse. I had no treehouse. That's what it was.
So I did not speak up.
So I did not speak, and it was so good. And then Lynette just goes, "Are you comparing Catherine to a Nazi?" And Lee just stares at her.
It's so funny.
But you know what?
Then
She's a modern day Republican.
Catherine is being a Nazi because they're at like the HOA meeting to, run for president. And Ida Greenberg says, "We're going to show those gays we mean business." And I think it's Susan who has to like go to her, "Ida, we're not upset that they're gay. We're upset about their fountain."
See, that's what I mean. Like, there's such great, like, gay humor in this.
Yeah.
And then Lynette is like, "Hey, like, how far is this gonna go?" And then she brings attention to the tree house, which I think she should have kept her mouth shut.
Yes.
And then she decides that she's nominating herself for president of the Homeowners Association as well.
This actually is so
the community.
This is so popular vote coded.
This is, and I feel like this is also just like Democratic election coded.
Yeah, but like specifically my short thesis film,
Right.
popular vote when, the main character declares that he's running for president on a whim.
Did the listeners know that Ryan Murphy stole popular vote?
I feel like we did address this recently.
Did we? And that we tried to like... No, I don't think we did. I think I was telling somebody about it and I asked you.
No,
But
you and I
think
were
that they
talking
know.
about the letter of demand.
We were talking about the letter of demand. I think I was telling my coworkers about it.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, but we haven't publicly stated.
You guys, please send Ryan Murphy hate.
Don't do that. I'm scared of him. He has dark energy. He's a dark gay.
I know. Guys,
The
do
dark
not
gay
send Ryan
rises.
Murphy hate. I was
Yeah,
joking.
please don't.
He did steal my thesis film to make The Politician starring my nemesis Ben Platt.
Hey, we love Ben Platt now.
Fine.
We love Ben Platt and his father, Mark.
Fine.
Listen, we can't be blacklisted in this industry. Love you, Ben. Love you, Ben. I love you,
Love you so much,
Love you, Ben. So then Tom and Lynette are discussing this at home, and Tom's kind of like, "Hey, maybe you should like focus on healing before you do something like this. Like, I can run for homeowners association." And she's like, "No, this neighborhood's run by women. What do you not understand? This is a woman's world, not a man's world. Get back into the kitchen. Get back to your pizza restaurant."
It's a woman's world, so to speak. Like,
yeah. It's a woman's world and we're happy to be living in it. Oh my god. Lynette would love that Katy Perry song. It's a woman's world. I imagine her like going back to her job as an SVP listening to that on her iPod.
you just love saying, Lynette, you're an SVP.
She is. She's so successful and amazing.
Then we go back to Gabby, who is in the hotel room with Carlos, and they're about to have a great time, except who knocks at the door? John Rowland.
Okay, I feel like we've seen this scene before.
Really?
Did this not happen last season? Because I know they were at the hotel. Maybe I'm just remembering it from a previous time watching. Because I was like, I feel like we went through this already. It felt repetitive to me. So John knocks on the door and he wants to start an affair. And Carlos hides in the closet.
And this is where things go downhill because John Rowland starts talking about how, oh, well, Gabby, remember when you wanted to start our affair back up and you said your ex-husband was such a terrible, terrible person, such a POS, and like he's just going off, and everything that Carlos is hearing from the closet, he is not liking.
And the way it was cut too, you just like see Ricardo Chavira in the closet just going,
Ricardo Chavira.
like, it's so funny. It's just like, yeah, remember when we were having sex on your bed and Carlos came in? And he's just like,
Yeah.
it's so good. Such good humor. And in the middle of that, we did miss it, but a very quick scene. Lynette asks Susan to vote for her, and she's like, I'm voting for Catherine, sorry.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that was like it cut in the middle, but it was quick and easy.
And Susan also tells Lynette that having the fountain next door is like living next to Splash Mountain.
I did clock that. I was like, whoa, that's a callback to the We're Going to Tell podcast. And then John finally leaves and Carlos is mad and she's like, old news, I had an affair, get over it, oh my god. And he's like, oh, Gabby, I can't believe you had this affair. And then she's like, well, what's the difference? Like, we're doing the same thing. And he goes, no, it's different. Which it kind of is.
Kind of.
They're still married in the eyes of the Lord. Jesus
They
Christ.
are, and also Carlos is legal.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that.
Yeah, whatever.
Also, did you clock Ricardo Chavira's tattoo?
I did not know.
I don't know what it is, but it's on his right shoulder. I want to know what it is now, but I was just like, oh wow, we've never seen that before.
I think I've clocked it before. I just didn't notice it in this scene.
Oh, well, I don't know what it is.
And then Lynette and Catherine are just like campaigning and they run into each other and there's like a little montage.
I loved the way that this was intercut. Because they were like finishing each other's sentences and you see them like going around to the different neighbors helping them with things. So Catherine is like changing somebody's tire or something, and then Lynette is with McCluskey and she's forcing the twins to like rub her feet.
I hated that.
I hate it too, but I get the joke and I think the joke is funny.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was a good little scene. And this was this is like a filler season, I think, because I feel like it had a lot of filler episodes, but I love it. I'm like, yes, I want to see the homeowners association fight. This is amazing. Yeah. And then we're back at the Vandecamps and Andrew is explaining to Bree and Orson that Danielle has a lentil brain. And he goes, Danielle cares about 3 things. Danielle, fun, that's it. So he's like, you just have to come up with a better offer. Like, just manipulate her. She's stupid. But the lentil brain, like, fried me.
Yeah, that was hilarious. And right now, Danielle is only there because she thinks she has a better life at her grandma's. So Andrew says that they have to basically outbid Mama Rex.
And then Carlos goes to talk to John. He just shows up and goes, hey, I'm not going to fight. I'm not fighting. I'm sorry. I forgive you. And John's just like, ugh, yeah, you forgive me, man? Well, guess what? I loved her. And Carlos is just like, my hands
I
are
forgive
here.
you for that too.
I forgive you for that too. I'm not going to beat you up because you're not a gay person.
But also, like, not for nothing, where was this energy when Carlos was on his, like, Catholic journey?
That is true. I think he had to go through a lot more than just forcing himself at church. But Carlos has done a complete 180. Like, he's a completely different character than in the first 2 seasons. But I would love to see him interact with Bob and Lee to prove he's not homophobic.
Yeah.
But he's like, I like those gays, just not on my street.
Then we are at the HOA election, and Susan votes twice because, of course, she does.
Wait, no. And before that, Lee says, A vote for Catherine is a vote for fascism.
Right.
And Ida Greenberg goes, what is it about you gays and clothes? And once again, I was dying. And she goes, why are you so obsessed with fashion? And they're just like, but then Bob goes, well, Ida, if you ever want to talk clothes.
So
Like, they
funny.
love stereotyping themselves. It's amazing.
And then ultimately, Susan votes for Catherine, and we just see like the crestfallen look on Lynette's face.
Um, and then Bree goes to the back to the retirement community, and she just brings a lot of attention to all the old people there. And she's like, "No, well, it's too bad you can't go to that party school in Florida. You would have been really cool rolling up in the convertible we were gonna buy you as a graduation gift, but now you're gonna be a mother living in a retirement community with nobody your own age, and you're never gonna be able to have fun or drink or party or be a
Yeah,
kid."
they are like masters at using reverse psychology
And and Danielle like just falls straight into their little trap.
because she has lentil brain.
Lentil, smaller than a lentil. It's a pea brain. Which actually is a lentil smaller than a pea? I think it is.
Yeah.
It is. And then Adam Castle, who, okay, we actually have, so Desperate Housewives universe and the MCU, the MCU and the DCU, the Superman universe are also very tied together because you guys in the new Superman movie, Adam Castle comes down in like a flying wheelchair. And we were both like, whoa. And then also Terry Hatcher was famously in Lois and Clark in the 90s.
Yeah.
So they're both tied to Superman.
But then our jaws dropped at something else too. What was it?
They said Persephone.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But great
Nice.
film, guys. If you love our stupid little insults on this podcast, you will like sometimes I feel like we wrote that film.
I
What are you
know.
looking at, freak?
And basically, Dr. Adam Castle is being really distant, and Catherine's annoying me. That's all.
Yeah, he was like, hey, if you want to blend in this neighborhood, you can't act so controlling. Like, it's really good to have friends. And again, Mama Sims or Auntie Sims, whatever her name was,
Yeah,
the
Aunt Lily.
one of the reasons why they moved there is because of Aunt Lily, and she already died. So people
Right.
are gonna die. So I'm like, why are you guys still there? You have no reason to be. But then he's like, you know what? She goes, "Ugh, you're gonna tell me not to be controlling? Well, do I need to remind you what you did in Chicago?" And he's like, yeah, well, guess what? You had friends there. So it would have been a lot harder if nobody liked you. And she's kind of like, oh, yikes.
Then we get to Bree and Mama Rex. They are just discussing everything, and Bree offers for Mama Rex to babysit, which kind of like lights her up. You can tell like it kind of would give her a little sense of purpose. And Mama Rex is like, "Oh, well, how are you going to explain me to your friends?" And come on, Bree. She goes, "Oh, I'll just say you're completely broke and need the money."
And also it's like I don't think anybody's going to question the grandmother of your
Exactly.
children hanging around. Like no, even if they didn't have kids, like I think even though Rex was terrible and Phyllis is unsufferable, they're still like going to maintain a relationship. So nobody's going to be like, ugh, why is your dead ex-husband's mother here, who's also the grandmother of your kids, and they have a standing relationship? I can't believe she's babysitting your
Right.
kid. Like, I think it's okay. I don't think that's going to be talk of the town.
Yeah, exactly.
And then Carlos and Gabby go to talk, and Carlos is like, hey, I want to do this right. Let's break up with Victor and Edie, and then like actually like just get back together in like 6 months. And they're like, okay, and then they have their final kiss, and it's photographed because they
By the
left the blinds
PI.
open. Yeah.
Yeah. The next scene actually had my favorite line where Susan goes over to Lynette and she's like, "Hey, Lynette." And Lynette goes, "Hey, Judas."
I wrote that down too. Hello, Judas. It was just so funny. Felicity Huffman ate that up.
Yeah.
And she basically tells Susan that it was like the one place that her kids can go without hearing about the cancer, which I think is very valid.
The treehouse is what you're
The
referring
tree
to.
house. Yes. What did I say?
You didn't put a subject in the sentence.
So what did I say? The
You
place?
go, oh, she just says like it's the one place that they can go. So like just clarifying, you mean the treehouse. And now that's obviously in danger of going away.
Yeah. But my thing is, again, I'm sure this was just necessary for story, but why couldn't Lynette originally be like, hey, can you vote for me so my kid's cancer-free treehouse doesn't go away? But she didn't say that.
Yeah, and now we have Da Führer, who's probably going to like order the treehouse demolished as soon as humanly possible.
Yeah, because immediately after Catherine won, she goes, okay, I need to talk about this person, this person. Oh, and you, Lynette, we're going to talk about your fucking ugly treehouse.
Oh,
I swore, demolish
ugly
your... We're going to demolish your house while we're at it and ship your kids off. They're not the Wisteria way.
But to everyone's surprise, Da Führer wants to be a good neighbor, and she says that Lynette can keep the treehouse.
Yeah, she just does a 180, and because like I guess you know, Adam Castle's words got to her, but Lynette just goes up to her and goes, you know, Catherine, sometimes you're nice, sometimes you're really mean. I can't figure you out. That was it. She's like, we all have our secrets.
Yeah, Catherine really said, people get exhausted trying to figure me out, and I just let them.
And then she also goes to Bob and Lee, and she's like, hey, Bob and Lee, just so you know, that's still going down. I still hate your gay fountain. And they're like, well, no, Catherine, it's not going anywhere because guess what? My ex worked at the hospital with Adam and we know everything that happened in Chicago. So until you want that getting out, the fountain stays.
Yeah,
She's
so
just
now
like,
it's this
oh.
like battle between them. And we don't quite know what's going on in Chicago, but I also want to mention that intercut between those, we see that Edie is the one who hired the PI and he's giving her the photos of Gabby and Carlos.
And she also, the way this is revealed, she's just sitting there like, I never wanted to fall in love because I never wanted to get hurt. And now that I have, I may kill myself. And then you just cut to the PI just going, can you pay me in cash?
Yeah. Like he does not
He
care.
does not care. He's like, I did my job. I got my photos. Let me go home.
And that is our episode.
That is the episode. The one last thing I noticed as Mary Alice was going off about it's safer to mind your business or whatever. Did you see Catherine's crazy mailbox?
No.
The mailbox was the exact replica of her home.
Oh, that's weird.
So I'm like, Catherine, you're going to go after these kids' treehouse and these gays'
Yeah.
fountain, and you have a crazy mailbox? Which I'm all for the crazy mailbox. I think it's great, but I'm like, you're a hypocrite.
But then, yeah. You can't have it both ways.
No, you can't have your cake and eat it too, Marie Antoinette. Heads will roll or whatever.
Right.
Anyway, guys,
Well,
that's our episode.
this was a great episode. Can't wait to
This
get
was.
into
I
the
had a
next
fun
one.
time. Yeah, we'll be back next week for real. And listeners, I promise, next time I go back east in a couple weeks, I will bring my microphone.
Until next time, this has been the podcast.
We know what you did. It makes me sick. We're going to tell.
And y'all come back now.
Y'all.